o'clock rock, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock rock, 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock rock. We're going to rock around.
So you had a gig in the...
It was called a gig in the grass.
Gig in the grass.
Yeah.
It was sort of, it was meant to be Woodstock in North Balwyn, Australia, but people got in for free. We were going to charge, but people got in for free.
And there were other bands?
No, it was just us.
What are your memories of it? Because it just, when I first interviewed the guys, and I hadn't seen the footage, and they were trying to explain it to me, I got an impression, you know, that it was an outdoor concert, maybe on a local level, but it was a kind of outdoor concert in a park, in a public space. And not that it was actually you setting up in the park and people walking around. Do you remember, how did you all decide to do it? Or did Adrian?
No, Adrian decided it was going to happen, and then I suppose that was part of the working relationship. Then we did what we did to make it happen, and I'd get involved technically, and for that, part of being technical was we all pulled our resources to get extension cords to run power out from Adrian's house through into the park.
Rock and roll. Long time to sick in my soul. Yeah, let me get it back, let me get it back, let me get it back. Lonely, lonely time. Been long time, been long time, been long. Lonely, 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 lonely.
I've got to be honest about the gig in the grass. We were expecting thousands, and there was more select people came.
Hundreds?
No, it was mainly
dozens.
There were a lot of women or older women.
Twos and threes.
Older women. They're older women, and
they would have been just in the park.
No, well, a lot of them. Some of them did stay.
Basically, yeah.
Some of them.
Like I said, people passed through. They got a vibe from the music. They felt the pulse, and then
there was that one girl
to keep running.
There was that one girl who stayed for about an hour, didn't she? It was half an hour or something.
Yeah, there were a few groupies. Your sisters came.
Yeah, it's mainly my sisters came. They've been big fans, along with my mum. No, around that time, Wax in the Sun felt like a real band. Like we all had the similar outlook, and we were ready to take on the world. And I admit, it was hard to cope with success because we were so young. And one day we were playing at a school hall, and the next day we were playing at a school theatre. It was heady times.
My feeling was, and I think what this all comes from, and in fact every point now that I read it comes back to one really basic point, is the band were living like rock stars, but they weren't a rock band as such. They hadn't been signed, they didn't have a record, they played a few gigs to school kids, but they were behaving, they played in these little gigs, and they were sort of living like a rock star dream, which is, I guess, is the reason you get into rock and roll in the first place. So. Yeah. And I think that's part of my indignation in this, is the fact that I'm saying, well, you haven't got any runs on the board. And what I'm not appreciating is that that's part of why they took it out in the first place. And do the rock star thing, they did. And I didn't understand it because I wasn't in the band. I didn't understand that that's part of what it's all about in the first place. So, but I was also frustrated because I saw that no one, there's only a few bands ever that have been signed and been successful at 17 or 18. What I realised was they needed to go on a 3 or 4 year path that would lead them to big success. And it just seemed like it was a marathon, and they fell over just after the gun went. And I'm like, get up, run.
You could say Wax in the Sun peaked too early, because it probably wasn't a good thing to make a masterpiece on your second album, on your second release. So, I'd written some good songs on the first album, but on the second album, Spooning the Moon, every song was good. So, and I knew I'd made a perfect album, and the band knew they had made a perfect album, and one of my friends at the time, he said, you know, you've made a perfect album. So it was hard.
I'm 6 feet tall, I'm pretty, it's 5 miles high. My sweet thing, she can't talk, she says she's too tongue-tied. Well, I don't blame her, you'd be tongue-tied too, if you only knew the things that I can do. I don't want a woman, I just need a little girl. I don't want a woman, I just want a little girl. I don't need the screams in the magazines, don't need to wear the big auxiliary clubs and hobgoblins pushing me to settle down.
The only problem was that Spooning the Moon didn't sound like anything else, so we knew it would take some time to sink in, and it was only, you know, MTV was in full swing, so we thought, wow, we've got to get out there and make some top quality, world-class clips, and you know, I think we did. Have you heard of this is probably after the tape. It was our Alfred Hospital Christmas party.
No, I've never.
It was one of our biggest performances.
A big performance, but with, I'd say, probably the least crowd reaction we've ever had experienced. In terms of, it was top quality sound from our point of view, but from the point of view of the audience, they were, you know, well-trained heart surgeons and doctors who prefer perhaps a bit of Mozart or something.
Jazz. They didn't understand.
They didn't. Perhaps we were misunderstood.
I always really liked the music, but I must admit, like now that we're adults and we're a lot older,
Yeah.
I must admit, there were times when I didn't like Adrian very much. I've got to tell you that right now. There were times, like, fuck mate, I tell you, there were some times I just wanted to go.
Maybe I should leave the room.
Whack.
Where do you plan to go with your band?
To the all-time top.
The all-time top.
Yeah.
And what's that?
Bigger than the Beatles. Anyone else.
Bigger than the Beatles.
Anyone else.
How, man?
everything is fine. I can make you mine. Bottled gold is wine if you have the time.